Sorry, but in this video, I talk about fixing the boot manager after doing a dual boot with Linux on a Dell 5400 laptop. So one thing that happens is I did this dual boot using Mr. Chromebox as well as Chrx. After you run all this, in the case of my Dell laptop, the GRUB bootloader was not set up for some reason. It's old. All my laptop isn't supported supposedly, so I'm not blaming either of these people. That I'm very thankful for what the work they've done. So I'm just saying that after you run all this, your system should be set up, but the GRUB bootloader isn't ready. And so this video that you're going to watch is a poorly made video of me trying to number one, first go into the FE partition on my hard drive and making sure there's enough space so that I can fix it. And then what do you call it? First is making enough space, and then I need to repair the GRUB bootloader. You can do it by command line, but I didn't. Instead, I used a tool on Linux Mint Cinnamon to do that, and you'll see it in the video. So it's a poorly made video because it was the first time I was trying, or first or second time trying it, and I just thought it might be useful for someone who isn't too experienced with GRUB bootloader, which is someone like me. I for the life of me can't fix it. But you know, there's Stack Overflow and YouTube. So anyways, if you use Rufus plus flash drive and create a installer boot flash drive with Linux Mint Cinnamon, there's a boot repair tool that you can run, and it should fix the problem. Hopefully this helps someone. Sorry, talking so much. So I mentioned before, this is the long part where we installed. It took 16 minutes. Tells you your login with Chrx. So now I need to go repair the GRUB bootloader because it won't boot at this point. If I try to do Control L, it will load up actually, I might as well show you. So if I go to shut down. So after installing Chrx, Ubuntu, if I try to boot up on the Dell 5400, the GRUB bootloader isn't set up. And so that needs to be fixed somehow. You know, you can do it yourself. I'm not an expert. I don't know the best way to do it. So I'm going to press Control L. Control L. Go into Tyanacore. And it's going to boot into the GRUB version 2.06. And it's going to boot and it's going to hang like this. I had two options for like image A and image B, but it gets stuck like this. So the problem is it's not pointing correctly to the right environment in GRUB. So to fix that, possibly I can use a tool to fix the boot configuration, and I'm going to use it from Linux Mint Cinnamon Edition. Before I do that, there's one extra step I need to do, and I'm going to do it through developer mode, Control D, and then go into VT2 terminal, Control Alt F2, and log in as Chromos. Now the problem here is the partition that has the FE partition for booting, it's pretty small. And if we try to modify it, we won't be able to modify and add to it because it's going to take up all the space. So I don't know what originally put all that stuff in there, What I do know is we can delete it because it's not working. So I'm going to go and do a sudo fdisk -l. It's going to show me all my partitions in, again, this is for NVMe 0 and 1. That's the disk over here. And here are the partitions. The partition that was created by Chrx is this one, NVMe 0 and 1 P7. Now, the partition I need to modify slightly is I need to make some space. Get rid of the old stuff. So there's an NVMe 0 and 1 P12. So this might be a little confusing for some of you. I'm going to use the temp directory and mount to it the 12th partition, the FE partition. So I'm going to first make sudo. You can do it a different way, but we just need to delete some files. Temp -a. So that's all I'm doing. I'm making an A directory that's going to be mounted onto. And then I'm going to do a mount. And I'm just going to use the 12th partition over here. Dev /NVMe 0 and 1 P12. It's the 12th partition in my case. Could be something different. You're looking for FE system. And again, the problem is it's really small. It's only 32 megabytes, and it's taken up by whatever created in the first place. So I'm going to delete the two largest files to make some space for me. Sorry, forgot to put sudo. Always forget that. Or I could have done sudo bash. I don't know. Okay, so sudo mount. Oh, sorry. cmp -a. So sudo mount the FE partition to temp A. Yay! So I'm going to go to cd temp A ls. We need to get into FE, cd FE ls, and then cd boot. I could have just done the long directory, which is this pwd. You need to go into there. So you can name your mount directory something else other than temp/a, but you need to get into your FE partition, which might be the same thing as me. But again, run the sudo fdisk-l command to see all the different partitions. Now, I'm going to ls one more time. And so, actually, I don't want to be there. Sorry about this, guys. ls. Go into cd /temp/a/ I want to go into this directory, syslinux. Sorry about that. Inside of there is some files. I wanted to show you. So this VM Linux A and VM Linux B is taking up like a large portion, like 12 megabytes, and it's a small partition. So if I delete these two, it'll give me enough space so that I can repair the boot partition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do sudo rm vm star, like that. Hopefully that's enough. And now you can see those two big files are gone. So I'm good now. I'm going to exit. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the computer. Control F1. Go to the bottom right and shut down. So I'm not going to show you how I use Rufus, and I downloaded the ISO file for Linux Mint Cinnamon Edition, and I burned the image, the live installer, onto this USB drive. I'm not going to show that step because I'm assuming you should be able to do that. I'm going to pop this thing in. So this step is interesting just because it won't boot into the flash drive, and I'll show you. OS verification, I'm going to do Control L, press 1, and when it tries to boot in, it gives me a failed message. I think it's related to this edition of Linux Mint and this flash drive. But anyways, I can still boot it. So if you ever experience this, it may be this case where you can... I'm going to press a key, and I need to get back into the boot screen. So I'm turning it off. I need to go into the FE boot. So I'm going to press Control L, and after I press 1, I'm going to press Escape so I can choose what to do. Press Escape a few times. I'm over here. You may not have tried this, but in Google Serian, you can actually choose the FE file you want to boot from. So you just go to Boot Manager, Boot File, and you can see the flash drive. It says USB over here. That's the flash drive. Enter that. Go into FE, enter, boot, and I want to press enter on GRUB x64. And so that's a way I'm able to boot the flash drive when it's not booting automatically from, what's it called? The BIOS screen or whatever, or FE screen. So now I'm going to choose compatibility mode. And again, the reason why I want to do this is I want to use the repair tool to try to repair the boot partition. Hopefully it boots up. Sometimes it gives this white screen. I may need to get a mouse, which I'm going to do right now while it's booting up. It's been a minute and it didn't boot up, so I'm going to go move the flash drive to the other side and reboot and do everything again. So Control L, 1 escape, go into Boot Manager, boot from file, find the one that says USB, press enter. I'm going into FE, boot, and GRUB x64. to start compatibility mode. Hopefully it works a little better this time. I'm not sure what happened, but it didn't boot too well. So if you're using a Dell and you installed RW Legacy, and for some reason the flash drive is not automatically booting when you select flash drive as the first device, or you select the USB drive directly, then you might be able to boot into Linux Live, going to the FE directory and booting that file. Hope it works. So if everything goes as planned, I run the repair tool and then I reboot into Linux. It should be easy peasy, fresh and squeezy. Sorry, this does take a long time, and it was quite annoying doing it over and over to try to figure out how to do a correct dual boot on this Dell 5400. So I will connect to the Wi-Fi over here, and I'm going to connect to my Wi-Fi. Hope I put in the right password. I think I didn't put in the right password. I didn't. Connecting. Connected. Establish connection. Okay, now the fun part. If you go click on the Linux Mint button, under all applications, you'll see boot repair. So this tool makes it simple for me. I'm not smart. It says, do you want to automatically update? Sure, yes. It's like some kind of loop. It keeps on asking me if I want to update it. I'm just doing it once. And I'm going to say no now. So the whole thing is the GRUB. It doesn't... I'm not sure where it's supposed to be updated because I'm not an expert on this, but I read online Mr. Chromebox had mentioned, like, after installing RW Legacy firmware and doing Chrx, there might be an issue with the GRUB installer because those are, issues out of his control, which makes sense. I'm going to go to advanced options over here to show you some stuff. One is going to reinstall GRUB, which we want to do. Use standard FE installer. GRUB location. So as I mentioned before, your installation, if you use Chrx, is the 7th partition. And so that's where it's going to grab. They don't let you change anything. And you can see Ubuntu 23.10, Ubuntu. And then it's going to put the FE partition into partition 12. So I had a lot of problems using this because I wasn't sure what was going on. I didn't read the recovery file. I finally did read the recovery file. I noticed it couldn't write the files because it said there was insufficient space. And so that's, in that previous part where I told you to go on to the FE partition and delete some files. We're just deleting files that we don't even use, and it's just taking up all the space. There's some other options. I don't know what they do. But I'm going to just click apply over here. And it's going to require us to use the terminal to fix some stuff. Okay. So it comes to this screen, and on the bottom it mentions if you see the screen, click yes, tab into yes, and press enter. So what you do is you move your mouse over here and right click, and you copy. I was actually doing line by line, but once you open this terminal session over here, open, it says mint.mint, right click and paste all of that, run it. This is the picture that we were showing before. So press tab, the tab key, and it moves it from no to yes. Click yes. You're done with that. Awesome. So it's at the prompt. We're all done. Now we can go ahead and click on forward over here. And we're still not done. We have to run a command for the boot repair. Copy. Oh, shoot. Right click. Paste. Enter. That's all almost done. Okay, to the prompt, it's all done. Click on the boot repair tool and click on forward. And now it's going to work its magic. And I'm crossing my fingers that this works. Otherwise, obviously you can fix the GRUB bootloader yourself. One thing that's difficult is pointing to the 7th partition, because the Google firmware doesn't detect it. And so it makes it a problem. No, I'm not gonna. You could say yes or no. I'm saying no. Let it finish. And it mentions that there is a problem with the locked NVRAM detected. I just click OK. It's going to open the repair report. You can read it to see if everything repaired. I'm just assuming everything's fine. I was about to unhook it before it finished. But anyways, I'm going to go over here to power, and I'm going to shut it off. We're almost done. We're at the home stretch. It says remove the medium over here. Press enter. So this is the moment of truth. If there were problems, you can always look at that log file. Okay, turned off. So I'm going to press it on again. And I'm going to wait for it to get to the splash screen. This time, if I'm lucky, I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to press Control L and press 1. I don't have to get into BIOS or anything, the FE BIOS. It should just take me to the correct bootloader. Wha-bam! So I didn't have to fool around with any GRUB commands, GRUB installer. I was able to use Linux Mint Cinnamon, their the boot repair tool, and here I am over here, and now I can just run Ubuntu. Now, the thing about Ubuntu is there is one issue which we'll go over. I'm so happy this worked. And its brightness, the backlight is set to 0 for some reason. And you'll see it just booted up. You can't see a thing. But I need to log in first. So I'm going to type in the Chrx login password, which is Chrx. I just typed it in over here. Press enter. And now I'm in Ubuntu 23.10. I'm dual booted, supposedly. So I might as well show you also that Chrome OS is still working. So I need to get the brightness back. On the bottom right, if you move the cursor, you can't see. It's so hard to see. Okay. Got the mouse down there. Preferences is this icon over here. You can't see it, but it's the 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth one up, or maybe the fifth one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm saying it's the fifth one because it has an icon there. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's preferences. Once you get to preferences, go to the very top. And brightness, now you can kind of see, is this one over here. Go to brightness. No, it's not. Let's try that again. Preferences. I swear that's brightness. Yeah, it was. And so we just have to set the backlight and it's back to normal. This happens on every boot, so you can probably change the command line settings so brightness is okay. So that was my biggest issue with Ubuntu, is you need to go to, again, it's the fourth option, preferences, link settings, and to brightness. Go into there and just adjust the brightness. The backlight a little bit. Turn that, press close. Okay. As proof of working, I'm going to log into the internet. Logged in. Hopefully Firefox powers up over here. For some reason it doesn't work. I need to figure out why it's not booting up. But I can also open other things like LibreOffice Draw, and it boots up. I'm just not sure why Firefox isn't working. But anyways, I got it installed, okay? Proof that I got Ubuntu 23.10 installed. Got internet connected, supposedly. No way to check it since I have to install a browser. But that's for someone else to figure out, not me. I'm going to go shut down and show you that Chrome OS is still indeed working. Try booting it one more time, and this is the end of my super long second video. I'm going to press Control D, and that will take me into developer mode. And voila, it's not repairing or anything. It doesn't give me an error message. It works. So now I have a dual boot. One partition's Chrome, which is about 70, 80 gigabytes, and then the other one is Linux, Ubuntu, which is about 170 gigabytes. And so you can do it on a Dell 5400, probably for sure, probably also on a Dell 5300. I don't think anyone's made a video about this because a lot of people said, the stock firmware or whatever, the Cerian Google UEFI firmware is really bad. But at least, proof that you can do it. So hopefully there's probably 5 other people using Linux using this Chromebook that want to try out Linux. So, and again, I didn't have to do any hardware changes. I didn't do the firmware right screw or whatever, so that I could change the whole FE firmware FU boot firmware or whatever. I don't know. I'm not expert. Okay, I'm just trying to show you that it's possible. I'm so tired. I'm just glad this is all over and out.